Welcome to Praise on
Hello.
Welcome to Praise on Wednesday night.
Hello. Welcome to Praise on Wednesday night.
Now is the time to worship. Come. Now is the time to give your heart. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. Come. Now is the time to worship. Come. Now is the time to give your heart. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. Come. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. Now is the time to worship. Come. Now is the time to give your heart. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. Psalm 95, 6-7 says, Come, let us bow down and worship. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker, for He is our God. John 4:23 says, Yet a time is coming, and has now come, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. When the music fades, all is stripped away, and I simply come, longing just to bring something that's the world that will bless your heart. I'll bring you more than a song, for a song in itself is not what you have required. You search search much deeper within, through the way things are been, you are looking into my heart. I'm coming back to the heart of worship, and it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I made it. When it's all about you, it's all about you, Jesus. King of endless world, no one could express how much you deserve. Though I'm weak and poor, all I have is yours, every single breath. I'll bring you more than a song, for a song in itself is not what you have required. You search much deeper within, through the way things are been. You're looking into my heart. I'm coming back to the heart of worship, and it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I made it. When it's all about you, it's all about you, Jesus. I'm coming back to the heart of worship, and it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I made it. When it's all about you, it's all about you, Jesus. Back to your heart, coming back to your heart. I'm coming back to the heart, coming back to the heart, Jesus. I'm coming back to the heart, coming back to the heart. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I made it. When it's all about you, it's all about you, Jesus. On Wednesday night. That's so cool how he does that.
Why is my family like this? Hello, and welcome to Praise. Woo! Okay. So tonight we have another guest with us. Would you like to introduce yourself to everybody watching?
Yep. I'm Sue, and what else should I say? I'm Sue. That's it.
All right.
Caleb's mom.
And Molly's.
Yeah, and Molly's mom.
And Joy's.
And Joy's. And Adu and Free and Julius and Buka.
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite food to eat or make and eat?
Oh, everything. I love food. I love
But what's your
food.
favorite?
My favorite is 삼겹살.
I thought it was 오징어 덮밥.
Oh, 오징어 덮밥 too. Yeah, 오징어 덮밥. Anything spicy, I love.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
She asks hard questions.
No, it's an easy question. Personal question. What do you like to cook?
I love cooking. Anything that I can, like if I go out to eat, I'll see it, and I love trying to cook that. But I like to do things like really easy, like not 복잡해, like not complicated. So I love cooking like kimchi-jjigae, but different kinds of pastas or meats. Yeah, meats are my favorite.
Have you tried bulgogi pasta?
No, I have not.
It's
I'm not a fan of bulgogi.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, but
돼지
yeah, 돼지 bulgogi
돼지
I like.
bulgogi, yeah.
But I gotta try that.
It's good. It is good.
All right. I have a serious question. So you do a lot of service in the church, and what do you feel like gives you the most like energy or drive to really continue to to continue to serve like the way that you do?
For the longest time, I thought like serving was just not really an obligation. I mean, I was joyful in serving, but sometimes the serving just became routine and about the work. But I really love, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but there's a book called Living Like Martha in a Mary World. So in the Bible, when Jesus comes to visit Mary and Martha, right, the sisters, Mary is just so, Martha is so, busy doing all kinds of things, right? And then, but Mary, she just sits at Jesus' feet. And, Martha is so angry because she's like, Jesus, look at that. Like, I'm doing all the work and, all she's doing is just sitting there, at your feet. But, he says that, it's really better for her to just sit and listen and be with me, right? So I feel like, when we're serving, that really is the, the best thing is that we can't get lost in the service, the work itself, because not every work, a good work, is a God work, right? So, when I serve, I really feel like I'm constantly thinking about that. I want to think about the fact that I'm serving a God who is my Abba Father. And then it really doesn't matter like how it's noticed or not noticed, what I do, but that, that heart of serving is just really, honest and true, unto Him. So I think that gives me like recharge. Instead of just doing it, mindlessly, but knowing really who I am serving.
Yeah, I think I can resonate to that because I've been a pianist for like a long time during my high school, and I lost all my energy because I forgot who I'm serving. It was like more like obligation and duty instead of I'm really willing to serve Him and worship Him. Yeah, so it reminds me of that experience.
Yeah, that's very true.
So the next question, I think it's really like related to the first song that you're singing. So can you introduce your first song and share why you chose that song?
So the first song was, a mix of two songs. So one was "Come Now Is the Time to Worship," and the second was "Heart of Worship." Coming back to the heart of worship. So I just felt like that, especially in this time of COVID when a lot of things have changed the way we worship, that, it's really easy to just kind of get used to the motions or maybe, we have forgotten the importance or the person we are worshiping. And, I think like even for me, coming on Sundays, sometimes it's really difficult. And, time management and things like that. And sometimes we don't feel like it, but it really doesn't matter if we feel like it or not. It really doesn't matter what kind of circumstances we've had, what events occurred that morning. But we have to remember who we are serving and who we are worshiping. And I think the songs, the lyrics in that song, come, now is the time to worship. Not about yesterday's worship, not about, we will do it later. But really, right now is the time to worship. We need to come, and God's calling us to that, all His Christians. And the Heart of Worship, it has a really, cool story behind it. But, I won't go into that, but really look it up. It's by Redman. And it really comes at a time when I think that a lot of us, we can become apathetic. We can become so complacent about what worship is. But we really have to find that deep heart in bringing to God our best every time we worship. So that's why I chose that song. That's a good question.
I feel like you kind of already gave like an idea of like how to really serve God, like compassionately and not really holding back anything. But is there anything that you would say to everybody that's watching, just either encouragement or advice or just kind of like your 2 cents on?
Okay. I just want to say that, our walk with Christ is dirty and messy. Because sometimes I think we want to paint a picture that, everything's so great. Like we're so charged, to be able to serve and to worship God, but it is messy sometimes and it's really hard sometimes. I told myself I'm not going to get emotional, but just to remember, I want to encourage everyone that is watching the Wednesday night, and encourage the people who are serving too, that week in and week out, it is not easy to really commit that time and to devote that time. And they're here several hours on Tuesdays recording. And I know Pastor Jim does a lot of editing, and he probably spends a whole day editing and things like that. But my encouragement to everyone is that just take time to really remember who it is that we're serving and loving, and be encouraged in the fact that God sees you and God knows your heart. Because we can't know everything that's going to happen, because we're not looking for fortune tellers, but we know that in the big picture we know what's to come. So that's what we look towards as we run the race strong. And be encouraged in everything that you're doing, everything that you're going through, that it's not for waste. That every event, every hardship, every joy makes it's a small part of the puzzle, I'd like to say, of the big picture. Yeah. And find joy in that.
Thank you for sharing that. And you also picked a second song for us. Would you like to tell us the name of it and why you picked it?
So this one is called Evidence, and it's by Josh Baldwin. And I think it's a relatively new song. I hadn't heard it before until, a couple of months ago. But the way I heard this song is just, really cool, because I think it was, that night that we were talking and you were asking me questions like how do you know? And how do you know the Bible is real? Or how do you know that God is good? Or, you just asked me a lot of things, and it's kind of fuzzy in my mind. But I remember, I don't know how I seem to you, Han-young, but, I remember thinking in my heart, oh gosh, how am I going to answer this? I don't know how to answer this. God, show me how to answer this. And I don't quite remember what I said to you, but I think I said something like, you just know. and then I walked away from that. And it was really weird. I don't want to preach talk about things happening all of a sudden and, oh my gosh, God's talking to me, but it was really cool because I was driving in the car and then this song came on. Like, I see the evidence of goodness all over my life, right? And God really reminded me, yeah, you know what? You don't need to say anything. Just look at your life. You know, let him look at your life. Sorry. Okay. Just look at your life. Look at the evidence in the way that, you know, God has taken care of you through every step of the way. No, I know. You are the evidence. You know, everyone in our lives is the evidence. And that's all the evidence that we need, right? We can't say one thing, you know, that, oh, I know that's why I know that God is real. But it has to be a compilation of so many different factors and so many different pieces in our lives that, you know, we can look at those things and say, you know what, God is good. I know he has come through time and time again, and we need to trust that. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Thank you for sharing your honest testimony and story. I think you're that like sincere heart saying like your whole life is evidence of God's goodness comes from admitting that you are powerless and you are nothing without God.
Yeah.
And I think, although you say you really didn't know how to answer to Caleb's questions, like how to prove God's existence and all that, it reminds me of last week's sermon that you are salt and light of the world, and then let people see your good deeds and glorify God. So I think that is the great, like the best answer you can give to your children and whoever you need. Like just let people see God in you and let your life prove His existence.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yes.
Yeah, and I think another thing for the audience is just, I mean, we're here and we serve and we worship together because that's like the way that we're showing our love to God and our just like our devotions kind of. And we have these guests so that not just that they can just share about the things that are going good for them or the things that they're struggling with or things they want to say, but just that's also evidence. I mean, we have you here because, I mean, we're just so blessed that we have all these brothers and sisters with so much heart and so much soul, like, for God. And, I mean, whenever you guys watch this, just remember that. Remember the song Evidence. Go listen to it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, would you like to lead us into the second song then? 그냥 말해봐.
Evidence. I see the evidence.
You lead it. I'm asking you, do you want to lead us into it because it's coming after the interview?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So 잠깐, 30 seconds. You just say yes. No, I'm just asking you, are you ready to lead us into the second song? And you say yes. And then we say woohoo and then bye-bye. Okay. All right. Well, would you like to go ahead and lead us into the second song then?
I would love to.
All right. Let's do it.
All throughout my history, your faithfulness has walked beside me. The winter storms made way for spring. In every season, from where I'm standing, I see the evidence of your goodness all over my life, all over my life. I see your promises in fulfillment all over my over my life, all over my life. I see your promises in fulfillment, all over my life, all over my life, yeah. See the cross, the empty grave, the evidence is endless. All my sin rolled away because of you, oh Jesus. See the cross, the empty grave, the evidence is endless. All my sin rolled away because of you, oh Jesus. Oh, I see the evidence of your goodness all over my life, all over my life. I see your promises in fulfillment all over my